Getting a report from law enforcement reporting a tornado on the ground near Cameron, moving east at 15 miles per hour.
This tornado is getting into Knox County, but now I'm concerned about this down here. Is this a new tornado warning? I think this is a new tornado warning. Yet again, we have more circulation here, and I just noticed that this red box is now in a different part. It's down.
That's for Warren County until 8:15.
And that's one thing that we should clarify. It's a funnel cloud until it hits the ground, and then it becomes a tornado. And sometimes you really can't see that connection. Sometimes there's kind of a blank spot, and you look from the bottom of what you can see to the ground. And if you can see a debris swirl, then it's a tornado.
We do believe now, we have Mike Ortiz, our chief photographer, who's been out in the Port Byron area. We have a live shot ready for you. And as we pull this up, I'm sorry, you'll have to introduce yourself to us. And as we see behind you extensive damage to that house, what have you seen in your area tonight?
I'm Spencer Hughes, and I'm from Port Byron, Illinois. I personally saw the tornado start to form. I was looking out my sliding glass window, and I saw the clouds start to rotate. So then I mentioned to my dad, I said, "Dad, will you come look at this? Make sure that I'm not crazy, that they're not rotating." And then he's like, "Yeah, they're rotating. Everybody get in the basement."
Our annual Secure Shred event is happening right now outside our studios. KWQC's Danielle McCarthy is live, and Danielle, we are shredding a lot of paper today.
We definitely are, Morgan. So there are these bins here, like this one here behind me. They've filled up a couple dozen of those, if not more, with papers from people coming up our driveway here at the Brady Street Hill in Davenport.
It's our annual Toys for Tots drive, a day dedicated to bringing the community together to help collect toys for children in need. And it always warms our hearts to see so many people show how they care by dropping off donations at our station during this event.
On a Quad City interstate, a school bus flips and all the kids on board are taken to the hospital. It has been a dangerous morning after an overnight storm, and we begin with team coverage on that school bus accident.
11 kids were on board heading to a field trip. All 11 were taken to Illini Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Traffic was backed up for as far as we could see and down to one lane because of it. East Moline police tell us that the rescue went smoothly.
Fireballs like this one are not supposed to happen, but just a month ago, a month after the Galena oil train crash, more concerns have been raised about the tank cars that are carrying the crude oil and ethanol.
TV6 Investigates tonight has a new look at those tank cars. Investigative reporter Mark Stevens joins us tonight. And Mark, the worries have shifted from surviving a crash to surviving a fire.
Yeah, we investigated these tank cars before and after the Galena oil train derailment. Now, the government's known since 1991 that the DOT 111 tank car is vulnerable to puncture. Voluntary tank car upgrades created by the industry in 2011 are designed to improve the toughness of the tank cars, but they don't have to include thermal jackets. Those are ceramic linings insulating the tank from fire.
No budget yet in Illinois, taking its toll on certain programs. Carl Sandburg College will suspend 3 state-funded programs at the end of the year.
Sarah Panzu made the move to Galesburg from Africa.
I came here to study and to get a better education.
She's trying to improve her college reading skills by taking classes at the Carl Sandburg Adult Learning Center. But because of the budget situation in Illinois, Carl Sandburg College isn't receiving any state or federal aid. So the program Panzu needs to achieve her goals is being suspended.
That helps thousands of people every year stay warm, faces the prospect of being out in the cold as the budget battle continues in Springfield.
They're hurting us.
Terry Sanders joins this group at Rock Island Senior Center almost every day. Each one relies on Project Now to help keep them warm during the cold winter months.
If it wasn't for this place, I wouldn't be able to survive.
It'd be hard to get by on things without the help that they give us.
But the budget crisis is threatening them.
The low-income heating assistance program, there's enough funding to only get us through the rest of this month.
Budget impasse in Illinois is now into its 5th month, and frustration is growing as the state gets further behind on its payments. Good evening, I'm Sharon DeReek.
And I'm Gary Mativier. New numbers tonight on how much local governments aren't getting in monthly motor fuel tax revenue. KWQC's Bailey Dees found out how that's impacting the Illinois Quad Cities now.
Well, overall, Illinois is more than $181 million behind in distributing the MFT funds. This is a tax that drivers are paying at the pump, and it's supposed to flow back into the cities, counties, and townships for things like road repairs and snow removal.
The state is in so much trouble where it's like a deadlock.
I think they really need to get their stuff together because, I mean, I pay high taxes.
The motor fuel tax is about 20 cents per gallon of gasoline in Illinois. Even without a budget, that's being collected, but the state isn't forking over that money.
Topping our news at 6 tonight, the 5-month fight over a state budget continues. Now lottery winners are among those calling for a plan to pass. Good evening, I'm Gary Mativier.
And I'm Paula Sands. Upset lottery winners are rising up now, asking for their full payouts. Now a winner in the Quad Cities is having this same issue.
Without a budget, sorry is all that many people are getting, including lottery winners. The state will give you something, an IOU. These are being given to anyone who wins over $600. As an Illinois resident, this includes businesses who sell winning tickets and even multi-state tickets like
Sometimes I do buy the Powerball.
IOUs will be given until a budget is passed. The governor says getting the winners paid is a goal of the state.
No balanced budget means no water and sewer payments to East Moline for the State Correctional Center. Good evening, I'm Gary Mativier.
I'm Paula Sands. Illinois now owes East Moline more than $166,000, an amount that may soon affect city services.
The ill effects of Illinois' ongoing budget battle are dripping down to cities in the QCA.
We've been feeling lots of pain for a long time. I can't run my city this way.
East Moline Mayor John Thodo says the state owes the city more than $355,000, including $166,000 in unpaid water and sewer bills for the East Moline Correctional Center.
In our political team coverage tonight, Democratic White House hopeful Hillary Clinton holding a town hall meeting in Davenport, rallying support 1 week before the first national Democratic debate. KWQC's Brian Boson sat down with Clinton, who just unveiled a number of new proposals.
Hey, bartender, keep them coming.
From Saturday Night Live in New York to a town hall in the QCA.
You've been busy.
I have been very busy.
What do you think about your chances here in Iowa?
I feel very good about it because of the response that I'm getting and the organization that we have on the ground that is working so hard.
GOP presidential hopeful Jeb Bush is visiting Iowa today and tomorrow with a stop in Goose Lake tonight. KWQC's Kaya Edwards is just back from the Clinton County Republicans' 43rd annual fall event. She joins us now, and it was Bush's first visit to Clinton County as a candidate.
When Jeb Bush hit the stage at the Millennium Ballroom in Goose Lake,
Jeb Bush,
he got straight to talking about hot-button issues.
Rather than find 4 million people homes in other countries, maybe we need safe zones so that we can build the remnants of the Syrian Free Army, train them, provide the support from Arab countries and European countries for the refugees to stay there safely.
Chairman Dan Smicker says that's why the Clinton County Republican Party welcomes candidate after candidate to visit.
I think we've had all but 2 of the Republican candidates here at one time or another. The reason we cooperate with all these candidates is we try to expose the electorate to these candidates.
Live from the KWQC Broadcast Center, this is TV6 News at 10.
From frozen power lines to all this new snow, tonight the Quad Cities is digging out from a Super Bowl snowstorm. This developing story tops your news at 10 tonight. Good evening, I'm Gary Mativier.
And I'm Elizabeth Goodsit. As the snow piles up, it starts to blow around. Some in our area, like Rock Island County, have pulled their plows off the roads tonight. It is a dangerous combination. Heavy snow now blowing and drifting across the roads, making for a miserable night across the QCA.
We have team coverage tonight on this winter storm. KWQC's Kaya Edwards on the conditions of the roads out there right now.
Katie Alexander is covering power outages with concerns more could come overnight.
And we begin tonight with Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland with the very latest on the storm and what we could expect next tonight. Eric?
Well, probably something that a lot of you are looking forward to, the end of the snow. And we can see the back edge of the snow just along the Mississippi. Most areas in Iowa now snow-free, except a little batch that's just west of the Metro Quad Cities on Interstate 80.
And Kaya, the delivery drivers really earning their money out there tonight.
They were working really hard, and right now on Kimberly and Brady, it's almost a little bit hard to tell if it's still snowing because a lot of the snow from earlier today is drifting out onto the roads. You can kind of see it blowing around here, and a lot of drivers, because of that, are taking it really easy, driving pretty slowly tonight. Delivery drivers are on the move, getting food to customers despite the snow.
When the weather's like this, for me, it's just a little bit more fun.
But Wendell Freeman says he's seen a lot of cars sliding around today.
Well, a big problem a lot of us have been dealing with in this storm, power outages. The latest numbers show about 2,000 Mid-American customers in the Illinois and Iowa Quad Cities without power at this point. KWQC's Katie Alexander joins us now live from Brady Street Hill. And Katie, crews will be very busy really all night trying to get everyone's power back on.
Well, Elizabeth, this is the cause of a lot of the power outages. It's very wet snow, and that is heavy, weighing down the power lines and weighing down the tree branches, which have been snapping and taking down power lines when they fall.
We dealt with a lot of snow, but you can see our visibility is getting a little bit better now that the snow is tapering off. After how much? Well, this much. How about 13.5 inches at the airport in Moline, at least for now. That will go down as the official Quad City total when the snow wraps up, which it pretty much is doing. We might add a few more tenths of an inch to that total. But look at Princeton, Illinois, 15.3 inches, just over a foot, officially in Dubuque. Sterling at about 15 inches. Clinton, 13. Anamosa, 13. Morrison, Illinois, a foot of snow, as well as Charlotte and Washington. And a few more area totals for you, even down to the south. 4 inches in Industry in McDonough County, 9 inches in Burlington, 7.5 inches in Denmark, Iowa. To the north we go, 12.5 in Bacocata, 12.8 inches in Muscatine, 10.5 inches in Mount Carroll and Cambridge as well. It would almost put the center of the tornado right on the county line right now. And for Galesburg's sake, it is staying on that easterly course, which is good because prior to this, it was turning a little bit to the north. That's why it kind of looked like it was following Highway 34, even as Highway 34 made those two northward turns near Kirkwood and near Monmouth. So at least for southern sections of Galesburg, not going to rule you out of the danger zone just yet, but things are looking a little bit more favorable.
Getting a report from law enforcement reporting a tornado on the ground near Cameron, moving east at 15 miles per hour. Estimated that it will cross I-74 south of Galesburg in the next 10 minutes.
This is from the rail yards in Galesburg. As you mentioned, the storm is not in that area yet, but it's quickly heading that way. So we'll be able to keep an eye on things from this image too, as a unique perspective as this storm starts to approach this region too, Eric.
As you can see, you look toward the horizon and the visibility outside of the Amtrak station property there isn't that great. So as you look to that other direction, not that one there because that's kind of looking toward the northeast, I think it is. You know, the railroad tracks there go toward Galva. There you go toward the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Yard, looking to the south and west. There it looks like the rain gets heavier just you know, about a mile down the tracks there, and visibilities get much worse. And that's what we've been talking about. You can't always rely on being able to look at the radar and then say, hey, I've seen the rotation on the radar. I know right where the tornado is, because the rain has wrapped that. And I think with those heavy rain indications we're getting on radar right now, that's what's making it very tough to see.
Also, a severe thunderstorm warning now just issued for McDonough and Warren counties until 8:30. We're looking at that right now. Some very heavy rain associated with those storms, and also the tornado warning for Warren County in effect for at least another minute or so. They may extend that. We will be keeping an eye. And for Knox County until 8:15. Again, we're getting reports that a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Roseville, or about 7 miles south of Monmouth, moving east at about 35 miles per hour.
It's a funnel cloud until it hits the ground, and then it becomes a tornado. And sometimes you really can't see that connection. Sometimes there's kind of a blank spot, and you look from the bottom of what you can see to the ground, and if you can see a debris swirl, then it's a tornado. I don't see one with that particular funnel cloud right there, so I can only say funnel cloud, but that is what we've been dealing with this afternoon, and a lot of these have quickly strengthened and become tornadoes, and we've even seen some more impressive funnel clouds than that right there. But that is some great video because you can see the actual rotation in the funnel and the base of that cloud. We also want to say that Knox County is also under a flash flood warning until 2 a.m. We've had some torrentially heavy rains. We've had a tornado, and unfortunately a strong one, for areas south of Highway 34. Cameron will certainly be looking into Cameron, Illinois, to see what the damage was there. But as Teresa runs us up and down that line of storms now extending from Rockford to Sterling And then south, flash flood warning there for Henry Rock Island, Whiteside County till 11:30.
We do want to show you some images we are now getting of damage. This is from Mount Pleasant, an apparent structure damage there, as well as reports from all around the area of a lot of trees down. But this is our first shot tonight we see. If you are in a safe place and see some damage, please send it to us so we can share it with the viewers, in particular for those who sometimes think we go on and on about these things for our own sake. Of course, this is all for the safety of you and your family. There are serious storms out there, and our job is to keep you informed.
Live from the KWQC Broadcast Center, this is TV6 News at 10.
Intense moments caught on camera tonight. Incredible video out of Cameron, Illinois. Not one, but several tornadoes dropping out of that storm around the QCA.
And this video sent in to us from a viewer in Swedensburg, Iowa. That's in Henry County, north of Mount Pleasant. Some very dark, ominous clouds with that tornado apparently tonight.
And another tornado spotted in Port Byron, leaving significant damage. We're bringing you team coverage of all that damage tonight.
The hardest hit area from what we hear, Cameron, Illinois tonight. Let's go live there. I believe we have James Stratton first tonight to tell us what you are seeing, James, in that community of about 800 people that has been hit hard tonight.
Good evening, Gary. I'm actually on the west side of town on 130th Street, 180th Avenue. And I'm not sure how well you can actually see this, but large power lines down across the street, and the street is actually flooded. Now, this is 130th Street, and there is actually a railroad crossing as well. And as you can see, that bright, shiny X, that is a railroad sign that has been completely toppled. Now, we actually have not been told if these power lines that you can see running across the road are hot or not. We're waiting on McDonough County Power to come test them and shut them off.
Now, Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland is going to walk us through what happened during the storm.
Yeah, we want to thank Colby Martin for some incredible video of the tornado that approached and went through Cameron, Illinois tonight. Now, we'll see it in different stages here, but first of all, a large tornado right there. Now, we had reports, and Elizabeth Goodson was telling us that we were having reports at times of up to 6 tornadoes. Well, actually, what it appears to be here, and this video kind of bears this out, one tornadic storm with multiple vortices, and you can see just how ominous that sky. Look at that spin up right there. You know, within the parent tornado, which covers a particular circle, say, of area, there will be smaller vortices like these that have even faster wind speeds. So as the main tornado really starts to weaken things, these multiple vortices, these smaller tornadoes within the main tornado, if you will, come and finish things off.
KWQC's Elizabeth Goodson is on the opposite side of Cameron. We're going to go to her now to see what she is seeing from her vantage point. Elizabeth?
Well, we are at the north end of town, as James was talking about, and you can see there is a multi-agency response here. We have state police, we have the Warren County Sheriff, volunteer firefighters, first responders from many cities across the QCA coming here to help as soon as they heard about what happened.
Trish Burnett, we believe, have on the phone now. She's with the Red Cross. And Trish, if you can hear me, can you tell us about your response? Have you been called in to help?
Well, we have sent a disaster team already to the location. They're taking bottled water, snacks, just some canteen items for responders and storm victims. We also have volunteers on standby if a shelter is needed. We're waiting for officials to let us know if they do need a shelter for some of those residents, and we've got supplies and volunteers ready to set that up very quickly if it is needed.
Tiffany Liu continues our team coverage.
Yeah, she's in Port Byron. You know, we're tracking all these storm systems. We had 2 issued warnings at about the same time. And Port Byron, we saw some significant damage earlier. Tiffany, what do you have for us?
Now, we are at one of the homes which had a lot of damage. You could see that people are working up top the roof right now. The garage door was also bent. And I actually have the homeowner with me right now, Greg Janicki. I know you told me earlier that you weren't home when this happened, but what was your reaction when you first pulled into the driveway?
It was scary to see, you know, what had happened with the roof blowing off and stuff, but people were already here at work. Our neighbors came to help us immediately. So kind of put the family at ease and my kids at ease that, you know, things were getting taken care of right away.
Live from the KWQC Broadcast Center, this is TV6 News at Noon.
On a Quad City interstate, a school bus flips and all the kids on board are taken to the hospital. It has been a dangerous morning after an overnight storm, and we begin with team coverage on that school bus accident this afternoon. Hello, everyone. I'm Marcia Lenz. The accident happened just after 8:30 this morning when a school bus from Geneseo slipped off the highway and rolled onto its side. We're at the hospital where many of the students were taken, but first, KWQC's James Stratton joins us from near the scene of the crash to explain what emergency crews encountered.
Marcia, yeah, we're just on Interstate 80, just from where the accident took place. As you can see behind me, traffic is moving just fine right now, but this was the scene earlier when a Geneseo school bus lost control and flipped on its side. As you can see, this was a mini bus and not a full-size school bus. 11 kids were on board heading to a field trip. All 11 were taken to Illini Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
All 11 students were taken to the closest hospital. KWQC's Danielle McCarthy is at Genesis Illini campus in Silvis, where parents and school officials have also gathered. So, Danielle, how are the students doing?
Well, Marcia, Genesis actually confirms that all the injuries at this point are actually minor. So when the students first got to the ER here, there were concerns that some of the injuries were pretty serious, possibly some broken legs. Now, doctors checked the students over and found that that was actually not true. The students do not have any broken legs, so they're not uninjured, but they are okay. They have bumps, scrapes, bruises, but again, no serious injuries at this time. You know, we actually did see a girl walk out of the hospital here with her mom. We know that some of the students were even able to walk into the hospital earlier this morning. So that's the extent of the injuries we're talking about here.
And nearly a dozen local students on board a small school bus as it loses control on an icy spot on a busy interstate. We begin at 5 with those scary moments for a group of Geneseo students this morning as the effort to get them to safety.
The Geneseo District school bus unfortunately hit a patch of black ice and lost control of the bus.
The small school bus rolled over to its side. 11 8th grade girls on board and one teacher, Carissa Hansen, who drove the bus. Trooper Jason Wilson of the Illinois State Police says it was all hands on deck. 6 students walked out on their own, but the East Moline Fire Department had a big task ahead.
In the inside of the bus, we found 5 students that were injured, couldn't extricate themselves from the bus, and a teacher that was tending aid to them.
A bus with students on board crashes on its side in a ditch. Weather playing a major role.
Tonight we have team coverage explaining what happened there and the efforts by medical professionals to get those kids to safety.
That's topping our news at 6 tonight, a major story we've been following all day. I'm Paula Sands.
And I'm Gary Bativier. That school bus accident this morning sending 11 students and one teacher to the hospital. It happened on the overpass of Interstate 80 and Interstate 88. Traffic backed up for miles as multiple teams came to help. KWQC's Tiffany Lou is in the studio. And Tiffany, first responders got there pretty quickly.
Gary, it came over the radio as a school bus accident. So right away, every team sent out multiple crews knowing kids were involved. From state troopers to police, fire, and hospital ambulance, first responders worked together on scene, as you can see. It happened around 8:30 a.m. 11 Geneseo 8th graders were on their way to a field trip, and their science teacher, Carissa Hansen, was driving the small bus. On the overpass where the Interstate 80 and 88 meet, the driver lost control on an icy patch. Illinois State Police confirms the driver was going too fast for conditions, and that's what caused the rollover.
We continue our team coverage on this accident now. KWQC's Elizabeth Goodsit is in Silvis, where hospital workers train for days like this every day.
Well, Paula, staffers say they can't ever know what to expect from day to day, so they really have to be prepared for each and every emergency. Today, ambulances transported the students and the driver here to be treated, but their families and school administrators came as well, looking for answers and condition updates. And administrators say they were ready for all of it.
They trade for a lot of different things.
So when 12 patients arrived here by ambulance, reps with Genesis Medical Center Silvis say they were prepared.
There were a couple kids with neck braces, immobilizers.
11 students and the driver, all of them triaged depending on their injuries.
We had one red patient. A red patient is somebody that's more seriously ill, seriously hurt. And that was the possible fractured femur. They'll check it out. They'll do an x-ray and see if there is a fracture.
And spokesman Craig Cooper says there were 3 yellows and 8 greens. Those are the students who were ambulatory, able to walk in under their own power.
Live from the KWQC Broadcast Center, this is TV6 News at 5.
We begin with breaking news at 5. A train derailment in Joe Daviess County, Illinois, with cars carrying oil. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sharon DeRick.
I'm Jeremy TVA. This video you're looking at right now just into our newsroom from our crews on the scene. A huge blast right there. Fire and black plumes of smoke rising from all this. Mark Stevens is there right now. He joins us live on the phone. And Mark, what can you tell us at this point very early on here?
Well, Gary, looking at that video, we were talking with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, which was trying to get up to that scene to respond. They were actually told to stay away because of the fire and explosion. One tank car was on fire, but there was another one on top of it. And when that sort of explosion of fire happened, my guess is that that's when that second tank car really caught and the tank car would have ruptured. That's typically what you see with these fires.
We continue to follow breaking news out of Joe Daviess County, Illinois. A train derailment this afternoon. The BNSF railway train derailed 105 cars, 103 carrying crude oil.
Yeah, this happened in a rural area south of Galena. And look at this. This is one of the explosions we caught on tape. We do have a crew on the scene gathering more information. We'll be posting that via Twitter and on our website as well as Facebook until our latest newscast with our updates on this coming up tonight at 6. Fireballs like this one are not supposed to happen, but just a month ago, a month after the Galena oil train crash, more concerns have been raised about the tank cars that are carrying the crude oil and ethanol.
TV6 Investigates tonight has a new look at those tank cars. Investigative reporter Mark Stevens joins us tonight. And Mark, the worries have shifted from surviving a crash to surviving a fire.
Yeah, we investigated these tank cars before and after the Galena oil train derailment. Now, the government's known since 1991 that the DOT 111 tank car is vulnerable to puncture.
There's not much you can do for that other than try and contain it and keep it from harming anyone or the environment.
Davenport firefighter Tyler Schmidt says the Galena train crash highlights how difficult it is to respond to a tank car emergency. He just returned from specialized tank car training in Colorado. He says it has better prepared him to respond to an emergency, one he hopes never occurs in the metro Quad Cities. Ethanol rolls through Davenport daily, and crude oil ships through Galena and Galesburg just as often.
Our annual Secure Shred event is happening right now outside our studios. KWQC's Danielle McCarthy is live, and Danielle, we are shredding a lot of paper today.
We definitely are, Morgan. So there are these bins here, like this one here behind me. They've filled up a couple dozen of those, if not more, with papers from people coming up our driveway here at the Brady Street Hill in Davenport.
It's our annual Toys for Tots drive, a day dedicated to bringing the community together to help collect toys for children in need. And it always warms our hearts to see so many people show how they care by dropping off donations at our station during this event.
And we talk about the excitement of the Bix, and here's one big reason why. Our adopted son, Meb Kwqc, won the Boston Marathon this year, and he's back this year to run in the Bix. The excitement has been building all week. The 40th anniversary, everybody's really proud of this race, both not only the runners, but the volunteers, the race organizers, and here at the TV station. We're all ready to go. And we are off. The howitzer has blasted the starting gun.
To give us an update on Project Bundle Up. How are things going so far? We're, several hours into it, Patty.
Well, actually, it's going wonderfully. At this time last year, we're far ahead of where we were last year. So even with the route change and everything, it's just going great. It's wonderful.
All right. We've been asking for donations of coats and hats and warm items. Where do these items go after they're collected?
Well, first of all, they'll go to our shelter for the kids that live with us at the shelter downtown here. Then from there, I take them to all of the surrounding schools, elementary through about 6th, 7th grade, that need them for the kids, that come in without coats, believe it or not, during the winter.
In just a few days, we will celebrate Veterans Day, and tonight we salute our veterans with a unique look at those who served in France in World War II. We take you to France with a QC French connection. KWQC's Gary Metivier reports from France.
Here in the French countryside, you'll see a lot of villages just like this one. This 70-year-old photo tells the story. The propeller from the plane of a Letts, Iowa man, August 5th, 1944. A time when America lost an average of 170 planes a day in World War II. Major Lawrence Herrick was just 24 years old.
I was born 3 weeks after my father's fatal crash.
For most of his life, Richard would know very little about his father's death.
My mother never really talked about my father, but you could understand that in the situation she was in. She had a new family, so she never talked about that.
I looked out and seen all them ships. I never seen so many ships in my life. It was far beyond the horizon.
George Shirks was 20 years old. His Navy salvage team had just completed demolition training in Scotland. He had no idea what to expect. No idea he was about to be part of history, part of the D-Day invasion off the coast of Normandy, France.
An Alleman High School grad has had an adventurous life and is now making headlines again. Bill Albrecht spent 25 years as a Secret Service agent protecting 6 presidents and their families and other heads of state. But it is his service in the military that is taking center stage right now.
Yes, Sharon, Bill earned the distinction of being the youngest captain to command combat troops in Vietnam.
Hawk, this is 4-1. Okay, 4-1, this is Hawk, go, buddy. Okay, we're coming in hot.
This is the actual radio chatter, late October 1969, Vietnam. Near the Cambodian border, Chicken Hawk, the handle for Bill Albrecht.
We were such a minor target. We figured, well, they were telling me that there was nothing, it was kind of like a holiday. You're going to go out there for 30 days and run security. It's your turn. The other guy is going out. You're just going to have to go out there and sit on your butt for 30 days. Crack of dawn, incoming, and I mean a lot of it. Rockets, recoilless rifle, mortars, small arms. We got hit, and we got hit quick, and we got hard. We took a lot of casualties.
It is the middle of harvest season for many farmers, but cancer has left one area farmer unable to get in his fields this fall. So friends and family decided they wanted to help. KWQC's Ashley Davis joins us now with what some are calling the most amazing harvest.
Now, usually you see 1 or 2 combines in the fields during this time of the year, but you can see in Carl Bates's field on Friday, there were many more than that, all to help an area farmer in need. Jason Bates says his cousin Carl never would have been able to harvest his fields on his own. That's why Jason's father decided to bring the community together and get it done for him. 40 people working 10 combines, 12 grain carts, and 16 semis to help haul in his harvest.
This whole thing was full, and it goes way beyond the hill towards Galva there, and then out this way. And they just got the combines in a line. Each head, they get done with a row, and the next row they took place.
Liam decided that he was going to be the star in all of his movies, and so Liam was always our very strong child.
Strong in both body and spirit. But that strength was about to be tested. The whole family was about to be tested by something that started so innocent enough. A cough was going around school. Liam came home running a low-grade fever.
He had a really bad headache on Tuesday, August 19th. And it was so bad. And we're talking about tough, strong Liam. He came to me in tears, just pressing on his head that he had a headache.
They treated him for pneumonia and sent him home with breathing treatments. Another night, another day, and no improvement. A team of medical experts swarmed in. Despite their efforts, Liam's breathing nearly stopped. Doctors intubated him. A ventilator would have to breathe for him. After months of being in the hospital in Peoria, then rehab in Chicago, Liam is settling in at home.
We came into the room and he saw that he still had a desk and he still had his name on his desk. And that was really surprising for him because he had said before, I'm not a part of that class anymore. I'm not in the first grade at Dankman. I don't go there. And so for him to come and see, you still have a desk, it still has your name on it, you're still a part of this classroom, was so cool for him. You could just see it on his face, like a realization of, wow, I am still a part of this community,
Football players are taught to be fearless. But this was a journey that would scare anyone. Colton felt pain and went to the ER.
We really didn't know what was going on.
In the coming months, he battled serious digestive diseases, from ulcerative colitis to peritonitis. But the scariest,
I swear I had 5 doctors in there. They didn't know what was going on.
Was a potentially fatal bacterial infection.
My heart started racing. It's getting hard to breathe. I told her, I think you need to call Dad. Get Dad here. And right when I said that, blacked out.